Everybody, today we are talking about skincare for your skin type. So there's three things that you want in your skincare routine. You want a cleanser, you want a toner, and you want a moisturizer. Now a cleanser is basically used to remove dirt from your face, makeup, sweats, oils, everything. So it's basically used to wash your face. Second one is a toner. A toner comes in two forms. You have a toner and you have an astringent. An astringent is like a stronger, more concentrated form of a toner, and these come in different varieties for different skin types. And finally, you have a moisturizer, which is used to plump up the skin, bring back a little bit moisture onto the skin, can be quite soothing. Let's start off with dry skin. Now, the characteristics of dry skin would be dry patches on the skin. You can have flaky skin. Your skin can have a dull appearance to it. For you guys, I would suggest to use a cleanser and stay away from washes, because any of that contact with warm water can be a little bit drying on the skin. For a toner, I would suggest trying a rose water tone. You use it with cotton wool, you blend it over the face, and it'll just remove any excess cleanser, but it'll also kind of soothe the skin and make it feel a little bit fresher. Now, because you are using cotton wool to cleanse your face and tone your face, it's sort of like a mild exfoliant, so you're probably going to find that your dry patches won't be as dry and flaky. You'll find that your skin is a little bit smoother and a little bit brighter. Now, for a moisturizer, I would suggest using perhaps two moisturizers, one for the daytime and one for the night. For daytime, just a normal cream moisturizer. For the evening, a thicker cream moisturizer would probably be best. Let's move on to oily skin. Now for you actually have quite a shiny appearance to your skin. You can have also a dull appearance to your skin because the oils are starting to overproduce and gather in areas. You can have large pores across the cheek area, nose area. Now for you, I would suggest using washes. I find washes that you use with water definitely removes any of that oil on the skin. So you can use foam washes, but they are a little bit harsh, so I would tend to just cut down on the amount of times that you use. And then a typical normal wash where you just use like a pump of it, you blend it over the skin and you remove it with water, and it can be very refreshing on the skin. You can use an astringent for a toner if you wanted to, which is a little bit more of a concentrated form of it, but I would say to just stick to using maybe a strong toner like witch hazel or tea tree oil, because that's pretty good on the skin, but it's not going to be too harsh on the skin. Now for a moisturizer, I would use two moisturizers, okay? Now a moisturizer in the morning time, you might want to go for a mattifying moisturizer to get rid of that shine throughout the whole day, which I think is totally fine. But then in the evening time, I would go for something that's just a basic moisturizer. It doesn't have to be heavy, it doesn't have to be like really creamy, but just a normal moisturizer, nothing too mattifying, because you want to kind of hydrate your skin using the moisturizer so that your skin isn't overproducing it itself. Moving on to combination skin. Combination skin is probably the most common skin type because people feel that they don't fit into dry skin, they don't fit into oily, so they must be combination. So for you guys, you might have oiliness across your T-zone, you might have dryness or even just normal skin on your cheek area, but you want to kind of work with both of them and kind of keep a balance between the both of them. So for a cleanser, I would suggest using just a mild cleanser, maybe a mild milk wash that you use for dry skin. But then for your oily patches, for your really oily T-zone, or maybe you just have, you know, this whole area or across your cheeks is oily, treat that with something else. So you can actually use something like a foam wash for that, or just a typical wash for it. Now for a toner, you can use two as well, but you don't have to. I would suggest using a mixture of rose water and witch hazel, so nothing too harsh on the skin. The mixture of the two work really well for combination skin, and it's actually what I use. Now for a moisturizer, you might need to use two. Use the mattifying along where your oiliness is, and then just blend it out, and then just use a typical basic moisturizer for the rest of your face. And then for the evening time, I would use just the basic one. Let's move on to sensitive skin. It's the last one that I'm going to be talking about in this particular video. For you, I would try and find a brand that specializes in sensitive skin, because a lot of products come out with like the sensitive version of such and such, where it actually doesn't work. You got to find a brand that specializes in sensitive skin because they know what they're talking about. I would suggest to use a cream cleanser or a milk cleanser. You're going to blend it all over your face, you're going to remove it with cotton wool, and this will just remove any of that dirt. And because you're removing with cotton wool, it slightly exfoliates, but it's not going to be too harsh on your skin. And then for a toner, you can actually just use a little bit of water because that is all your skin really needs. And then for a moisturizer, I would suggest a moisturizer that's very mild. And if your skin's kind of on the warm side, it'll help you blend it more, because I do find with sensitive skin, if you're like this and you're like rubbing your skin, it can just make the skin a little bit more sensitive to the touch. So just make sure you kind of glide it on the skin instead of just rubbing too much on the skin. But those are the most common ones, and I just wanted to kind of help you guys out with kind of a beginners into skincare routine. So just make sure you have your 3 things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.